outside corner, and Levitt is called out on strikes on a great pitch over the outside corner from Sunbirds starting pitcher Evan Lisola. That will bring up Joe Raymond playing third base for the Trailblazers tonight. Getting back to the final two in the starting lineup for the Trailblazers, the shortstop and batting eighth, Alec Flematakis, and the designated hitter, Jaden Murray. As Raymond takes a ball outside, your umpires for today's matchup: behind home plate, Anthony Prater; down the first baseline, John DeLuca; and the third base umpire, Glenn Balangao. Raymond looks at a strike, bringing the count to 1-1. A curveball from Lisola finds the strike zone, bringing the count to 1-2. For Raymond, coming into today's matchup, .333 average for the junior in 48 at-bats, 20 runs scored, and 16 hits as he sees ball 2 come across the plate off the hand of Lisola. Trailblazers, as a team, come into today's game with a 15-19 overall record and 11-13 in the Pac West. As ball 3 is fired in to Raymond for the Sunbirds, they are 14-12 overall and 11-9 in the Pac West standings this season. The payoff pitch to Raymond swung on, fouled down the third base line, out of play, and we will do it again. Raymond getting the start today at third base. His 3-2 pitch on the inside corner, and swing and a miss for Raymond. He is the second out of the inning, bringing up Gabe Taylor, the right fielder in today's game. As we mentioned, 2 outs in the inning off 2 strikeouts from Esteban Lisola, Sunbirds starting pitcher. For Lisola, coming in today's game, his 8th appearance, his 8th start. He's 2-2 on the season with a 4.11 ERA as he delivers the first pitch to Gabe Taylor on the outside corner for a called strike from home plate umpire Anthony Prater. Loiza, as we mentioned, 2-2 on the season, 46 innings pitched, as the 0-1 pitch is inside for a ball. Lisola has allowed 37 hits on the season, 21 earned runs, 17 walks, and 53 strikeouts. As Taylor bounces this one to Dodds at third base, who fires across the diamond to Villanueva for the third out of the inning, and the Trailblazers go down in order. No runs, no hits, no errors for the Trailblazers. We'll be back in 60 seconds on the Trailblazer Baseball Network. Welcome back into the Dixie State Trailblazer Baseball Network. Once again, I am Drayson Ball. Had a little bit of audio issues in that first inning a little bit. Hopefully we got them fixed now. Looks like we do have them fixed now. As we mentioned, I am Drayson Ball. Running things solo today. Carrick Segmiller not able to join me. As we begin the top of the second inning, as Mosca fires ball one to the first baseman, Hunter Villanueva. And Villanueva on the next pitch sends a ball deep to left center field. This one is gone. A no-doubt shot from Villanueva over the left field wall, just left of the scoreboard. And the Sunbirds take an early 1-0 lead. Villanueva looked like he got a pitch right over the middle of the plate after seeing ball one and didn't miss. That one cleared the wall pretty easily as it hit out into those trees, as you can see out there in left center field. Hit about halfway up into those trees. A no-doubt shot for Villanueva. And the Sunbirds take an early 1-0 lead off the bat of Hunter Villanueva. Bringing up Braden Frankfurt to the plate, as ball one is low and outside off the hand of Matt Mosca. The 1-0 pitch, just off the outside corner. Anthony Prater calls that a ball for Mosca. Frankfurt, a .347 batting average on the season. As Mosca fires ball one, 2-1 now the count. .347, as we mentioned, for Braden Frankfurt in 95 at-bats. 19 runs for the senior, 33 hits, 7 doubles, a triple and a pair of home runs. As he fires a foul ball over the visiting dugout. A beautiful day in St. George, 82 degrees at first pitch. As Frankfurt sends one down the right field line, just foul. A sunny day, very few clouds in the skies, a lot of blue skies, and a beautiful day for Trailblazer Baseball. If you're just joining us, I am Drayson Ball, coming at you from Bruce Hurst Field on the beautiful campus of Dixie State University, where the Sunbirds lead it 1-0 on a second inning home run from Hunter Villanueva. 2-2 the count to the catcher, Braden Frankfurt. And he swings and a miss for the third strike and the first out of the inning. Mosca brought a fastball, looked like high and tight. Might not have been a strike, but Frankfurt offered for the first out of the inning. Both the Trailblazers and the Sunbirds went down in order in the first inning. And Mosca's first pitch to left fielder Hayden Haynes is over for a called strike. Haynes is a .270 batter for the Sunbirds as he sees the 0-1 pitch sail wide of the mark and bringing the count to 1-1. Haynes, 17 starts for the sophomore as he watches the 1-1 pitch over for a called strike. 37 at-bats, 5 runs scored, 10 hits, and 2 doubles for Haynes. 1 homer and 5 RBIs as well. As Mosca's 1-2 pitch is on the way. Chopped, high chopper down the third baseline. A fair ball picked up by Raymond. A high throw to Porter. Pull him off the bag. And Haynes will be safe at first base. We'll have to see how they score it, but it looked like to me an error all the way on Raymond. We'll see how they score it. And it does go down as a throwing error by Joe Raymond, the third baseman. A high hopper Pretty tough play down there near the third base bag, but you got to believe a good throw beats the runner. And that would be why an error is charged to Raymond on the throw. So that'll bring up the designated hitter, Robbie Steves. Steves, hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. We'll call it Steves. And the first pitch from Mosca instead will go to first base to check on Haynes, the runner. Again, glad you joined us for this first game of a 4-game series between the Sunbirds and the Trailblazers, first of which taking place obviously tonight. A doubleheader tomorrow afternoon beginning at 4 o'clock, and the wrap-up of the series, will take place Saturday at noon. First pitch to Steves is called for a ball on the inside corner. 1-0 the count, 1 out in the inning. Haynes, the runner at first base, as Haynes offers Matt Mosca offers the 1-0 pitch, and it's low and outside for ball 2. Don't know if we ever gave you the defensive lineup for the Trailblazer, but we will give it to you one more time just in case our audio issues didn't cover the defensive lineup for the Trailblazers. As we mentioned, Matt Mosca on the hill, Jake Davison behind the plate, Logan Porter at first, Tyler Hollow at second base, Alec Flematakis and Joe Raymond make up the left side of the infield. Flematakis at short, Raymond at third, Jake Engel in left field, Jagan Levitt in center, and Gabe Taylor in right field as Mosca checks on the runner once again. The 2-1 count for Steves, the designated hitter for the Sunbirds. Haynes, the runner on first, reached on a throwing error by third baseman Joe Raymond, as the 2-1 pitch is a ball on the outside corner. Davison tried to frame that one, wanted to get the call, held the mitt there for about 2 or 3 seconds before firing the ball back to Mosca. And the 3-1 pitch is flied out to right field near the line, and Dave Taylor gathers that one in for the second out of the inning, bringing up the second baseman Nate Case for the Sunbirds. Davison steps out in front of home plate, giving some defensive signals for the Trailblazers. And Mosca sets for the first pitch to Case, who grounds it to Joe Raymond, plays it off his chest, fires over to first baseman Logan Porter. Case looks like he was either trying to slide or maybe slipped at first base. The out is recorded for the third out of the inning. Case is down behind first base. We'll come back in 60 seconds and let you know if he's okay. Back in 60 seconds on the Trailblazer Baseball Network. Welcome back inside Brucehurst Field. For the bottom of the second inning, I am, again mentioned, Drayson Ball running the show solo today as Carrick Segmiller unable to join me. Leading off for the Trailblazers in the bottom of the second is first baseman Logan Porter. Also do it for the Trailblazers, Jake Engel, followed by Tyler Hollow if anybody reaches Jake Davison. And the first pitch offered to Porter is taken off his left leg, and he'll jog gingerly down to first base. Porter been hit by a lot of pitches this season. Don't know if I have a stat for that. If I can get a stat, I do have a stat for that. 12, that makes 13 hit by pitches for Porter so far this season. He has worn a lot of pitches so far this season, as he does to lead off the bottom of the second inning for the Trailblazers. Bringing up left fielder Jake Engel. The left fielder, Jake Engel, takes a called first strike over the inside corner off the hand of Lee Sola. Engel, a sophomore, coming into today with a .307 average, 75 at-bats, 16 runs, 23 hits for the sophomore. Lee Sola checks on the runner over at first. Engel, as we mentioned, a sophomore out of Tucson, Arizona, 6'2 sophomore. Awaiting the 0-1 pitch from Esteban Lee Sola. Taken down low and inside for ball one. The Trailblazers falling behind 1-0 early on in this game from a home run from Hunter Villanueva, the only score so far, as Lee Sola checks again on Porter, the runner at first base. The Trailblazers coming off a series, as we see the 1-1 pitch to Engel taken inside for ball two. Coming off a series against Hawaii Hilo, in which the Trailblazers won 3 out of 4 games from the Vulcans, and welcoming in Fresno Pacific for a 4-game set to take place over this weekend. The 2-1 to Engel instead to first, again checking on Porter, who reached on a hit by pitch to lead off the bottom of the second inning. Beautiful day in St. George. Just a slight breeze blowing out to left field as Engel fouls the 2-1 pitch off down near the visitor bullpen. And he will see a 2-2 pitch with Logan Porter on first base. Again, running things solo today. Carrick Segmiller unable to join me, but he will be back in all likelihood for tomorrow's game, as we'll continue to bring Trailblazer baseball to you. As Engel sees ball 3, and the count is loaded for the sophomore left fielder. We'll keep an eye on Porter here on this pitch, see if he's moving on the pitch. He is running, and Engel lines one down the left field line, getting into the left field corner. Porter coming around, rounding third base. He will score without a throw, and Engel ties the game with a double into the left field corner, scoring Porter from first base. A good piece of hitting from Engel. Took a pitch on the inside corner of the plate, was able to get his hands around to bring that one down to the left field line, scoring Porter from first base. Again, Porter stealing on the play was aided because he was stealing on the play, able to come all the way around from first base on a second inning double from Jake Engel, which ties the game at 1-1 for the Trailblazers. Bringing to the plate second baseman Tyler Hollow for the Trailblazers. His first pitch is fouled over near the Trailblazers dugout. That double by Engel, his 8th of the season, and his 21st RBI of the year, plating Porter to bring the score to 1-1. All tied up here in the bottom of the second inning from Bruce Hurst Field. Lisola offers the 0-1 pitch. Ball bounced in front of the plate for ball one on Hollow. That looked like a curveball that just barely reached that dirt circle there at home plate. That was about a 48-footer off the hand of Lisola. Engel at second, off the double. And the 1-1 pitch to Hollow. Instead, back to second base. Nobody's home. And Engel will move up 90 feet. Strange play there from Lisola. Didn't have a guy on the second base bag. Instead, kind of tried to turn and throw it to where the shortstop was standing. Wasn't anywhere really close to the second base bag for that pickoff. But didn't make a good throw. It trickled into center field. And Engel able to move up 90 feet to third base now. Again, nobody out in the inning. So we'll give an error to Lisola on the throw, which brings the Sunbirds' defensive infield into the infield grass. The ball is hit to the shortstop, Alvarez, who saves the run from coming in, throws across the diamond to Villanueva. Throw is up the line a little bit. Villanueva comes off the bag and tags out Hollow for the first out of the inning. That play, again, made as the infield was in. Alvarez had to make a great diving stop just to get that ball in his glove. Stood up, fired it across the diamond to first base to record the first out of the inning and saving a run in the process. So now it's Davison, and he takes ball one. Davison, a .284 hitter on the season. Davison, a senior from Taylorsville, Utah. His 1-0, a curveball down, looked like a little bit low, below the knees, and the count goes to 2-0 for Davison. As we mentioned, 116 at-bats so far this season, 16 runs, 33 hits, 6 doubles for the senior, just 1 homer, and 20 RBIs. As he bounces one foul down the third base line. Count now goes to 2-1 for Davison. Trailblazers scoring on Jake Engel double, plating Logan Porter, who reached to lead off the second inning on a hit by pitch as the 2-1 comes into Davison, called for a strike on the outside corner. Engel then moved up to third base on an error by the pitcher, a failed pickoff attempt, and he stands just 90 feet from home, which would be the go-ahead run for the Trailblazers. The 2-2 offering to Davison hits the dirt. No appeal down to first base. It will be a ball. And the count will be full for Davison, the senior out of Taylorsville, Utah. The 3-2 to Davison as Lee Sola comes set. Infield still playing in. A high chopper over the second baseman, Nate Case, and Engel scores on the play. Davison with just a high hopping ball bounced once on the infield and took a high hop that Nate Case, the Sunbirds second baseman, was not able to corral. It fell into shallow right center field, and Davison plates Engel on the one-out single. Kind of just beating the defense there, kind of almost a seeing eye single, as they like to call it. A high hopper over the second baseman. Bringing to the plate, Alec Flemitakis. The shortstop fouls one straight back on the first offering from Lee Sola. So Dixie State putting up 2 runs in the bottom of the second inning to take the lead after the Sunbirds took a 1-0 lead on a home run by Hunter Villanueva in the top of the inning. The 0-1 to Flemitakis instead to first to check on Davison, the runner. It looks like now they've called a balk on Lee Sola. Head coach for the Sunbirds, Oscar Hishkorn, coming out to discuss it with the home plate umpire. Not too much of a disagreement there. Just wanted to get an explanation as to why a balk was called. So Davison moves up 90 feet to second base. He now stands in scoring position, just 1 out in the inning. 0-1 the count to Flemitakis, the Trailblazers starting shortstop. The 0-1 is out off the plate for ball 1 to Flemitakis. A .288 hitter on the season. Flemitakis is a freshman from Hurricane, Utah. A hometown kid as he takes a called second strike. Flemitakis is a .288 hitter, as I mentioned. 73 at-bats on the season. 21 runs scored and 21 hits, interestingly enough, as well. A couple of doubles, a pair of home runs, 13 RBIs for the freshman shortstop. The 1-2 pitch from Lee Sola is chopped to third base. Dodds scoops it up, looks the runner back to second, fires across the diamond to Villanueva for the second out of the inning. As Flemitakis grounds out to third baseman, a one-hopper to Dodds. And Dodds was able to fire across the diamond and record the out at first base. So Jaden Murray is the scheduled hitter for the Trailblazers, but we'll get to a little bit of strategy here from Chris Pfatenhauer, the Dixie State manager. He will pinch hit Wyatt Branch for Jaden Murray. Branch will likely stay in as the designated hitter. A little bit of strategy here from head coach Chris Pfatenhauer as the first offering from Lee Sola is taken for a ball down low. Oftentimes, Pfatenhauer will put a pitcher into the 9-hole with maybe not necessarily any intention to bat, depending on what happens in the inning that they do come up to bat in that 9-hole, whether it be in this situation a run-scoring opportunity. Likely Pfatenhauer will pinch hit for that pitcher just to not waste, I guess I would call it, a position player. And again, that's kind of why if you're looking on Dixie State Live Stats and you saw Jaden Murray was starting as the 9-hole hitter in the designated hitter spot, a little bit of an explanation as to why that is done. But again, as you mentioned, Wyatt Branch stepping in as a as a pinch hitter for the Trailblazers in place of Jaden Murray. Branch finds himself ahead in the count, 2-1. And the 2-1 offering is taken for a ball low and inside, and it will be 3-1 to Wyatt Branch. Center fielder Jagan Levitt, the leadoff hitter, stands on the on-deck circle. Jake Davison on second, reached on a single to right center field, and advanced to second on a balk from Esteban Lisola. The 3-1 offering to Branch is called for a strike. Branch thought it was a little high, tossed his bat toward the Trailblazer dugout, expecting a ball 4. He will have to return and do it again. Again, if you're just joining us, 2-1 the score from Brucehurst Field. The Trailblazers find themselves on top, 2-1, as Branch swings at the 3-2 pitch and a miss. Swing and a miss for Branch. He is the third out of the inning. But the Trailblazers even the score, take the lead, in fact, 2-1 on a Jake Engel double and a Jake Davison single. They lead at 2-1. We'll be back in 60 seconds on the Trailblazer Baseball Network. Welcome back to the Trailblazers Baseball Network. I am Drayson Ball. We are heading to the top of the third inning between the Trailblazers and the Sunbirds. Leading off in the third inning is the center fielder Brian Honley, and he'll foul the first pitch off just down the third base line. As we were discussing in that break, a balk call on the previous inning from Lisola. We'll get to that more after the 0-1 offering from Mosca. It is taken for a ball outside. A balk, as we mentioned, is any deceitful act from the pitcher after he has come set. Basically, after a pitcher comes set, he has two options. He can either step off the mound and maybe throw a pickoff, or come to the plate as the 1-1 pitch is swung on for a strike by Honley. In that instance, Lisola doesn't look like he had his motion going to the home plate, but instead picked off first base, and that is why the balk was called, as Honley takes a 1-2 pitch down low for ball 2. Center fielder Brian Honley leading off the inning for the Sunbirds takes a 2-2 pitch inside and off the plate, bringing the count full. Honley, a .200 batting average in 15 at-bats this season. 4 runs, 3 hits, a pair of doubles, and an RBI, as he fouls off the 3-2 pitch down the left field line near the Sunbirds bullpen. And he will receive another full count offering from Matt Mosca. 2-1 in favor of the Trailblazers, scoring 2 runs in the bottom of the second inning after a solo home run by Hunter Villanueva gave the Sunbirds a temporary 1-0 lead in the top of the second inning. The 3-2 from Mosca. Swung on, a ball deep down left field line. This one will be well foul over there into the practice infield. Well foul, but a pretty good swing by Honley. And he will see a third consecutive 3-2 pitch from Mosca. Taken for a ball inside, and Honley is on with a leadoff walk from Mosca. Just his 7th walk issued on the season. Bringing to the plate the top of the lineup, Adam Aleman for the Sunbirds. Mosca eyes in, gets the sign from Davison, and instead throws to first base to keep Honley in check. Honley, 2 for 2 in stolen base attempts this season, as Mosca comes set again and delivers high for ball 1 to Aleman. Allman grounded out to second base in the first inning, leading off for the Sunbirds. Excuse me. A .309 hitter is Aleman. Aleman, a junior from Reedley, California. Reedley High School. Again, Mosca checks on the runner over at first. Nothing doing. And he will deliver the 1-0 pitch. Squared around to bunt. The runner is stilling on the play. A high throw, but got him. Stilling second base. Brian Honley is cut down on a throw from Jake Davison. A little bit high, but able was Flemitakis, the shortstop, to bring the tag down, and looked like he got him right on the helmet just before Honley reached the second base bag. And Honley is cut down for the first out of the inning. That'll go as a 2-6, caught stealing. The pitch, was call the ball, as was the 1-1 pitch, call the ball as well, bringing the count to 2-1 for Adam Aleman. Now with 1 down in the inning. The 2-1 is fouled off, out of play, behind the bleachers there, over near the new grandstand over at Trailblazer Stadium. New grandstand being put up, nearing its completion as the bleachers were put in recently. If you haven't got a chance to come by and look at the new grandstand over at Trailblazer Stadium, I definitely encourage that you do it. A lot of good work been done over there by those workers. And the new grandstand for Trailblazer Stadium is looking rather nice, if I do say so myself, as the 2-2 is called for a ball 3 to Aleman, and we'll have a 3-2 pitch from Mosca, and it is a called ball, and Aleman will take his base on the second walk of the inning off the hand of Matt Mosca. 1 down now in the inning after Brian Honley was cut down trying to steal, thrown out by Jake Davison. Jake Davison trots out to the mound to have a brief meeting with Mosca, who will now go back to the stretch in the top of the third inning. Again, Trailblazers leading it 2-1. First offering from Mosca is taken for a ball high to Tristan Alvarez, the Sunbirds starting shortstop. Alvarez grounded out to the shortstop, Flematakis, in the first inning. He'll chop this one down the third base line, picked up by Raymond near the third base bag, fires across the diamond. Logan Porter stretching out and retiring Tristan Alvarez on a 5-3 putout from Joe Raymond. Advancing to second on the play is Adam Aleman. Fine play there from Raymond. Again, avoiding that second base, the third base bag. A chop right on the line, avoiding the third base bag, scooping it up on an in-between hop, and recording the out at first base. As the first offering to Dodds is taken for a ball high. The shadows from the grandstands just starting to creep on to the infield, as you see there down the first base line, as Dodds will foul one out of play over the home plate dugout. Dodds ended the first inning on a deep fly ball to left center field that was caught by Jake Engel, and he awaits a 1-1 pitch. Popped a mile high on the infield just behind home plate. Davison's got a beat on it. He brings it in for the third out of the inning. A couple of walks is all for the Sunbirds in the third inning. We'll be right back in 60 seconds on the Dixie State Trailblazers Baseball Network. Welcome back inside Bruce Hurst Field on the Trailblazer Baseball Network. Leading off for the Trailblazers in the bottom of the third inning is center fielder Jagan Levitt, who takes a called first strike over the outside corner. Levitt led off the first inning with a strikeout, a looking strikeout, if I might add. He will take ball one just off the outside corner of the plate, bringing the count to 1-1. Levitt has spent some time, most of his time, in the leadoff spot for the Trailblazers this season. Did play a few games down, I believe, in that 9-hole or the 8-hole, but has played the majority of the games as the leadoff hitter. A good leadoff hitter, .292 average. A fast runner as he scorches this one down the first base line into the right field corner. He will turn on the jets and cruise into second base. Thought about maybe going to third, but does stay at second with a leadoff stand-up double off the bat of Jagan Levitt to lead off the bottom of the third inning for the Trailblazers. Got a good pitch on a 2-1 count over the inside corner of the plate, kept his hands inside, and fired that one down the right field line. Just kept it fair, and it trickled into the right field corner, scooped up and put back into the infield by right fielder Adam Aleman. Bringing to the plate Joe Raymond, who also struck out swinging in the top of the first inning. Squares the bunt, pulls it back, but is called for a strike from Anthony Prater, home plate umpire. So Levitt stands at second, leading off the third inning with a double, as a curveball from Lee Sola doesn't find the inside corner of the plate, evening the count at 1-1 for Raymond. Raymond starting third base for the Trailblazers today. Looking at a 1-1 pitch. Swings and foul ball back over the backstop as first baseman Hunter Villanueva was creeped in on the infield grass, playing for a sacrifice bunt from Raymond. And now with 2 outs, will back up into those shadows there down near first base as the 1-2 pitch is fouled off by Raymond. And he will get another. 2-1 for the Trailblazers, as you can see there on your score bug in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. The 1-2 for Raymond is instead going to go back to second base. This time, Lee Sola connects with Tristan Alvarez to bring the runner Levitt back in safely to the second base bag. As we remember, in the second inning, Lee Sola threw one into center field on an attempted pickoff, which sent Engel to third base, who would later score on a single by Jake Davison, as Raymond fires another one foul down the right field line. Lee Sola entering his third inning of work. Allowed a couple of runs so far. And Dixie State threatening here again in the top of the third, or the bottom of the third inning, as Raymond takes high, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Levitt led off the inning with a stand-up double down the right field line, bringing up Raymond, who struck out swinging in the top of the first inning. The 2-2 from Lusola is chopped down the first base line, kicked off of the lip there where the grass meets the dirt, and took a hard right turn into foul territory. Kind of a fortunate break there for Raymond, as in all likelihood that ball would have been scooped up, and Raymond either would have been tagged out or recorded out at first base, as Villanueva was there to make the play. Fortunately, though, for Raymond, the ball did kick off that lip of the grass and shot into foul territory. So Raymond, with new life, will see a 2-2 pitch from Lee Sola, swinging this time foul down the third base line. As we mentioned, the Trailblazers come into today's matchup 15-19 on the season, coming off 3 wins from Hawaii Hilo last weekend, winning 3 out of 4 contests, as Raymond sends this one way down to left field over the head of Hayden Haynes and over the fence. A 2-run homer for Joe Raymond off Esteban Lee Sola, and the Trailblazers now lead it 4-1. A mammoth shot there from Raymond, a no-doubter off the bat, as he got a pitch to hit over the middle of the plate. A mistake there from Lisola, and Raymond didn't miss it. Raymond, that his first home run on the season, bringing in Jagan Levitt on the 2-run homer, giving Dixie State a 4-1 lead. And again, as we mentioned, kind of fortunate for Raymond to get another pitch, as it looked like the 2-2 pitch that was fouled down the first base line looked like it might have stayed in fair territory had it not kicked off the grass of the infield and trickled foul. So Raymond makes good of his opportunity, as does Gabe Taylor on the second pitch of this at-bat. Lines one into center field, and he is aboard with a single, bringing Logan Porter to the plate. Again, no outs in the inning so far. Levitt led off the inning with a double down the right field line, followed by a 2-run homer for Joe Raymond, his first of the season, and his 11th and 12th RBIs on the season. And we will have a mound visit from one of the Sunbirds coaches. Not sure if that's the head coach or one of the assistant coaches. The Sunbirds are coached by Oscar Hirschkorn, his 13th season out of Chico State. The mound on the plate, the visit on the mound between Lisola, his catcher, Braden Frankfurt, as the infielders gather around second base, and the Dixie State offense gathers in front of their own dugout. Meeting is over, and we return to play as Logan Porter steps in for his second at-bat in as many innings. Taylor stands at first base, now ready to go again after the mound visit. Porter, as we mentioned, led off the top of the second inning with a hit by pitch. Came around to score on a Jake Angle double. The first offering is taken for a ball high in the zone to the starting first baseman for the Trailblazers. Angle on deck. But first, the 1-0 to Porter instead to first base. Taylor back in safely. For Logan Porter, .321 average on the season. His 35th start of the season. 109 at-bats for the senior. 25 runs scored, 35 hits, 8 doubles, 4 home runs, and 25 RBIs. A whopping .505 slugging percentage, as we mentioned earlier. 28 walks and 13 hit by pitches after the hit by pitch recorded in the second inning. Taylor leads from first, digs in, and the 1-0 offering to Porter is swung on and missed, bringing the count even to 1-1. Lisola eyes in, grabs the sign, looks over to the first base runner, Taylor, as Porter squares to bunt. Appeal down to first base as to did he offer. John DeLuca, first base umpire, says he did not offer at the 1-1 pitch, bringing the count to 2-1. For the senior first baseman from Surprise, Arizona, the 2-1 to Porter is off the outside corner of the plate for ball 3. 3-1 now to Porter. Again, a beautiful evening here in St. George, Utah. Right around 75 degrees. Looks like 80 degrees on the thermometer here. Just past the 7 o'clock hour. And as you can see there, the shadows really starting to come in, and we'll see over the next 2 or 3 innings the games that they will play with, the infielders, the pitcher, perhaps the runners on second and third base, as well as the hitter, as Porter lines one into center field for a no-out single, moving Taylor to second base in the process. And the Trailblazers are in business. Runners on first and second base, nobody out in the inning. Bringing to the plate left fielder Jake Engel, who, as we mentioned, doubled in the top of the second inning. Advanced to third on an error, and later scored on a Jake Davison single. Engel's double scored Logan Porter from first base in that inning. An inning that saw 6 Trailblazers come to the plate, as Engel bunts this one down the third base line to Dodds, who scoops it up and fires to first base for the out. Engel, a productive out, however, gets the sacrifice bunt for the first out of the inning. Advances Porter and Taylor to third base and second base, respectively, which will force the Sunbird infield to creep in on the grass to prevent any further runs if we see a ground ball to one of the infielders. That'll bring up Tyler Hollow, the starting second baseman for the Trailblazers. He hits the first pitch he sees to the second baseman, Nate Case, who fires home to record the out at home plate. Gabe Taylor was running on the play, was thrown out, no question, as Taylor was thrown out at home plate for the second out of the inning. Kind of an unfortunate play there. Taylor was running all the way on the play. That'll go down as a 4-2 putout. Nate Case to catcher Braden Frankfurt, recording the second out of the inning. Logan Porter does advance on the play, going from second base to third base, and Tyler Hollow reaches on the fielder's choice. He stands at first base as Davison lines this one out into center field. Brian Hunley is there to record the third out of the inning, but not before the Trailblazers score 2 runs. A Jagan Levitt double and a Joe Raymond 2-run home run to left field. Trailblazers score 2 and lead it 4-1. We'll be back in 60 seconds on the Trailblazer Baseball Network. Welcome back to Bruce Hurst Field in the Dixie State Trailblazer Baseball Network. I'm Drayson Ball. Heading to the top of the 4th inning, we find Dixie State leads it 4-1 over the Sunbirds from Fresno Pacific University. Leading off in the 4th inning for the Sunbirds, first baseman Hunter Villanueva. He sees ball 1 cross inside on the first pitch from Matt Mosca. The 1-0 from Mosca. This one does catch the inside corner of the plate, called for strike 1. Villanueva, as we remember, took Mosca deep to left center field. Is the only Sunbirds run of the game as he takes ball 2 down low and inside. A solo home run for Villanueva in the top of the 2nd inning is the only Sunbirds run so far, as Mosca delivers a 2-1 called for a strike on the inside corner. That evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes for Villanueva. A redshirt senior from Bakersville, California, grounds one to the left side of the infield to Joe Raymond, going to his left, and fires across to Logan Porter for the first out of the inning. Tremendous play from Joe Raymond, going to his left 3 or 4 steps, was able to stab that one, pirouette and throw over across the diamond to first base. And Oscar Hirschkorn, the head coach of the Sunbirds, not happy with that call by first base umpire John DeLuca. Came storming out of the Sunbirds dugout to argue this call. And if I had to venture my opinion, I do not think the call will be overturned. Never something that you see happen is a call overturned based on a argument from a head coach. Hirschkorn now had enough with John DeLuca, will now take it up with home plate umpire Anthony Prater, still expressing his displeasure as Mosca plays a little bit of catch with his third baseman, Joe Raymond. Villanueva will go down on a 5-3 putout as it stands now. Let's catch up on some other Dixie State events going on today. The softball team was in action at Holy Names University earlier today. They won both games of a doubleheader, 8-0 in the first game, 9-0 in the second game. So 2 wins for the Trailblazers softball team today. They also played last night against Cal State East Bay, a non-conference matchup, winning both of those games as well, 8-5 the first game and 2-1 the second game. 4 games so far of a 6-game road trip for the Trailblazers softball. Hirschkorn has said his piece, retreats back to the Sunbirds dugout, and we're back in action with Mosca firing a first pitch strike to Braden Frankfurt, catcher for the Sunbirds, who offers at the 0-1 pitch, swings and misses, and brings the count to 0-2. Way ahead is Mosca on Frankfurt. Frankfurt, a senior catcher out of Fresno, California, playing for his hometown college team, Fresno Pacific. He takes ball 1 low and outside. A good stop from Davison. Mosca's 1-2 delivery is scorched out into the shift, right to Tyler Hollow, who was playing in shallow right field as you were able to see, Dixie State put a shift on that play, and Flemitakis, the shortstop, was over all the way across on the right side of the infield, playing where the second baseman would normally play, and Hollow was playing in shallow right field, and a line drive right to him is the second out of the inning off the bat of Braden Frankfurt. Bringing to the plate Hayden Haynes, the starting left fielder for the Sunbirds. Haynes reached on a throwing error from third baseman Joe Raymond in the second inning. Haynes came into today's matchup with a .270 average, and he'll foul the 1-1 pitch out of play behind the backstop. 2 outs in the inning for Mosca. First out recorded on a contested 5-3 putout, ground out to third base. And records the third out of the inning on a swing and a miss from Hayden Haynes. Mosca 3 up, 3 down for the Sunbirds in the fourth inning. Trailblazers lead it 4-1. They're coming to bat back in 60 seconds on the Trailblazers Baseball Network. Welcome back to Bruce Hurst Field on the Trailblazer Baseball Network. For the bottom of the fourth inning, as the Trailblazers lead it 4-1 in the fourth inning, and Flemitakis takes the first pitch he sees out to deep right center field, just shy of the warning track, but brought in by Brian Honley, the Sunbirds center fielder. So Flemitakis leads off the bottom of the fourth inning with a fly out to center field. Really a well hit ball by Flemitakis, just short of the warning track out there in right center field, just short of the flags you see waving out there, just near that kind of high part of the wall in center field, which will bring to the plate Wyatt Branch, who, as we remember, came in as a pinch hitter in the second inning and has stayed on as a designated hitter. And he takes the first 2 pitches for balls, and it will be 2 balls, no strikes yet on Wyatt Branch, the designated hitter. Lee Solo working quickly now. Fires in a strike. 2-1 now to Branch. Who takes ball 3 inside. Branch, junior infielder for the Trailblazers from Stansbury Park, right here in Utah. His 3-1 is dribbled to second baseman Nate Case, who fires to Hunter Villanueva for the second out of the inning. Wyatt Branch grounds out to second base to record the second out. And that will turn the lineup card over for the Trailblazers, bringing back up to the plate for his third at-bat, Jagan Levitt. So Levitt steps into the plate. He led off the top of the third inning with a screaming double down the right field line, which found its way into the right field corner for a double for Levitt, who later came around to score on a Joe Raymond 2-run homer. He finds himself way ahead in the count now, 2-0 for the freshman center fielder out of St. George, Utah, right here. Hometown of Jagan Levitt, who takes ball 3 high. And we'll see a 3-0 pitch from Esteban Lisola. Ball 4 high, and Jagan Levitt will reach for the second consecutive inning on a 2-out walk from Lisola, who brings up Raymond, as we mentioned earlier. Scored Jagan Levitt on a 2-run homer in the third inning to give the Trailblazers a 4-1 lead. Looking to do some more damage here. Looking ahead now for the Trailblazers. As I mentioned earlier, they will finish up their longest homestand of the season with Fresno Pacific. Tonight's game and 2 more to follow tomorrow afternoon, and followed by the final game of the series taking place on Saturday, April 7th at noon. As Raymond takes a first pitch strike. After that, the Trailblazers head out onto the road, taking on Biola University beginning April 19th. We'll stay out on the road to play Concordia Irvine University on April 26th. Levitt is running on the play, and the ball from Frankfurt is sailed way into center field. No extra advance from Levitt on the play, as he will be credited with a stolen base and no further advance for Levitt. The pitch was called a strike, however, and Joe Raymond finds himself down 0-2. 2 outs in the inning. Raymond swings a ground ball chopped down the third base line, ruled foul by the home plate umpire, Anthony Prater. A chopper just down the third base line. Dodds scooped that one up, straddling the third base bag. It might have just been in foul territory. At any rate, Joe Raymond will get another opportunity. Kind of a similar opportunity as he had last inning that he hit a home run. As we remember, a 2-2 pitch was swung on, fouled down the right field line. Fouled, fortunately, hitting off the infield lip of the grass down by the first base line and kicked foul. That saved Raymond there, and it will save Raymond here as well as he splits the third baseman and the shortstop on a ground ball through the left side. Levitt comes around to score without a throw, and Joe Raymond with his second hit and his third RBI on a 2-out single to score Jagan Levitt, and the Trailblazers take a 5-1 lead. As we were mentioning earlier, Raymond was kind of saved, if you will, in the third inning, with a 2-2 ball that was grounded down the first base line, hit the lip of the grass right there next to the chalk line, and careened foul. 2 pitches later, hit a 2-run homer over the left field wall. On this one, hit a foul ball down the third base line. Looked like it could have been fair, could have been foul, could have gone either way. But on the next pitch, grounds one through the left side to score Levitt for the 5th run for the Trailblazers. As Gabe Taylor steps in, takes a called first strike, and Lisola checks on Raymond at first base. So Taylor steps in, a .355 average for the junior. Awaits an 0-1 pitch from Lisola, who offered his swing, couldn't hold up there. That will be a called a second strike on the offering from Taylor, who, as we mentioned, is a junior from Pittsburgh, California. Long way from home is Taylor, who sees an 0-1 pitch bounce off the home plate umpire, looked like, and the catcher certainly, on a curveball from Lisola that hit the dirt, bounced off Frankfurt, the catcher, and Joe Raymond advances 90 feet on the play, putting himself in scoring position. 2 outs in the inning, 1-2 count to Taylor, who has driven in 18 runs so far this season, and looks to drive one more in the fourth. Looks like a breaking pitch from Lisola. Just missed the top of the zone, according to home plate umpire Anthony Prater. So deuces across the scoreboard. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs for Gabe Taylor. Joe Raymond leads off second base. Taylor swings one, grounds it just out of reach of the third baseman, Ross Dodds. Raymond coming home and will score without a throw as Dodds cut the throw off from Hayden Haynes, the left fielder. And Gabe Taylor advances to second base on the throw. He will reach with a 2-out single, advancing to second on the throw, and scoring Joe Raymond in the process. So the Trailblazers now lead it 6-1. They have scored 2 runs in the second, 2 runs in the third, and 2 runs in the fourth inning. And we are not yet out of the fourth inning as Logan Porter steps to the plate with Gabe Taylor on second base. First pitch from Lisola off the inside corner for a called ball. Logan Porter, a senior, as we mentioned, from Surprise, Arizona. He will cut on the 1-0 offering from Lisola and come up empty to even the count 1-1. So 2 runs here in the fourth inning so far for the Trailblazers, with Gabe Taylor in scoring position. Good speed for Taylor. Would likely score on a well-hit ball that reaches the outfield. But Porter will now have to do it with 2 strikes, as he has fallen behind in the count 1-2 for Porter. Lisola's 1-2 delivery is high and out of the zone for ball 2. Lisola's pitch count rising now. 89 pitches so far for the sophomore, as he will deliver the 2-2 pitch to Porter, who skies one out to right field. Adam Alaman has a beat on it, and he brings it in for the 3rd out of the inning. But the Trailblazers do some more damage, scoring 2 runs in the 4th inning. They lead it 6-1. We'll be back in 60 seconds on the Trailblazer Baseball Network. Welcome back to the Trailblazers Baseball Network. Drayson Ball with you. Running things solo today. Carrick Segmiller, normally on the call, not able to join me today as I am running things solo. Robbie Stevis leads off the top of the 5th inning for the Sunbirds and takes a ball low on the first offering from Mosca. Stevis skies the next pitch into shallow right field. Hollow, the second baseman, drifts out and brings it in for the first out of the 5th inning. So Stevis is retired on the second pitch of the top of the 5th inning. Bringing up Nate Case, second baseman for the Sunbirds. Case, a senior second baseman from Clovis, California, awaits the first offering from Mosca, who Case skies it deep into left center field off the base of the wall. Levitt corrals it, fires it in to his cutoff man, which was Hollow, but Case stands at second base with a stand-up double off Matt Mosca. Well-hit ball out near that scoreboard out there, as you see there, just off of center field down in left center. Just hit off the wall, the base of the wall there by those retired jerseys out there. Jay and Levitt able to corral it and get it back into the infield, but Case does stand at second base with a one-out double off Mosca, who offers to center fielder Brian Honley, who cuts and misses for the first strike of his at-bat. Honley reached on a walk to lead off the top of the 3rd inning for the Sunbirds, was later cut down on a 2-6 caught stealing. His second plate appearance, and he finds himself down no balls and 2 strikes as time is called by the home plate umpire Anthony Prater. Ball 1 is fired low and outside. A good stop there by Davison, who shuffled to his right and was able to corral that one. No advance by Case, the runner on second base. Mosca again out of the zone. And the count evens at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Again, if you're just joining us, welcome you in to the Trailblazer Baseball Network as Matt Mosca fires a ball way outside. Now 3 balls and 2 strikes to Honley. The Trailblazers scored 2 runs in the 2nd inning, 2 runs in the 3rd inning, and 2 runs in the 4th inning. Only run for the Sunbirds came on a 2nd inning solo home run by Hunter Villanueva. And our score stands at 6-1 as Honley fouls one straight back off the backstop. And the count now goes 3-2 for the sophomore center fielder. Looking ahead for the Sunbirds, what they have going forward, they'll wrap up their 4-game roadie. As Honley walks, they will return home to Fresno and face California Baptist University. A quick 4-game homestand for the Sunbirds before going back out onto the road to Irvine, California to face Concordia Irvine and Point Loma, as well as Holy Names University. So a long road trip to finish the season for the Sunbirds after finishing up a 4-game set here in St. George against the Trailblazers. So a one-out walk issued by Mosca to Honley brings up Adam Alaman, who fouls the first offering into the backstop for strike one. One out in the inning. Nate Case stands at second. He reached on a booming double off the base of the left center field wall. Honley stands at first, reached on a walk from Mosca. The 0-1 to Alaman is taken for a ball outside. Alaman, this is his third plate appearance. Grounded out to second base in the first inning. Walked and advanced to second in the third inning. Mosca turns and fires back to Tyler Hollow in an effort to try to keep Nate Case close, but Case slides back in safely. Just past 7:40 in St. George, Utah, as we see now shadows completely gone, save just a small patch of sunlight beyond the shortstop, just in shallow left field there. One-two to Adam Alaman. Good crowd on hand for the first game of 4 between the Trailblazers and the Sunbirds over the weekend. A great day for baseball. As we mentioned, 82 degrees at first pitch. Currently, about 80 degrees right now, maybe a little bit cooler now that the sun's gone down. But a beautiful spring day in St. George as the Trailblazers lead at 6-1 in the 5th inning over the Sunbirds. Mosca's 2-2 delivery is fouled off down near the Trailblazers bullpen, just there in their kind of warm-up area, I guess you'd call it. Their hitting cages down there, just behind their bullpen. Adam Alaman at the plate for the Sunbirds. 2 balls, 2 strikes for the junior, who awaits Mosca's delivery. Who sets, checks on the runner twice, and fires a nasty, looked like a slider perhaps, a backdoor slider aimed right at the back foot of Adam Alaman, who couldn't catch up to it. A strikeout for Matt Mosca. And Alaman is put down on strikes for the second out of the inning, bringing to the plate Tristan Alvarez. Count him up, just the third strikeout for Mosca by my count. Third strikeout from Mosca. Struck out 3. Has walked a couple, though. But the only damage done from Hunter Villanueva, a solo home run in the second inning for the Sunbirds. Mosca pitching pretty well, if I do say so myself. Has gotten himself into a couple full counts, which will drive the pitch count up, but all things considered, has pitched pretty well. He fires a 2-0 pitch across the plate for a strike on Tristan Alvarez, the starting shortstop for the Sunbirds. A junior is Alvarez from Madera, California. Skies one high and out of play for strike 2. Alvarez came into today's game batting .267, 90 plate appearances, 90 at-bats for the junior, 24 hits, 3 doubles, a triple, a pair of home runs, and 10 RBIs, 9 walks as well. He's 2-2 right now as ball 3 is fired inside from Mosca. Alvarez, a couple of ground outs so far. Ground out to shortstop in the first inning and a ground out to third base in the third inning. He's got runners on first and second for the 3-2 pitch. Runners are moving. Ball is grounded to Joe Raymond, who goes to 2 knees, picks it up, but a throw is high over to first base. And now they've got a rundown, but Raymond mishandles the throw across the diamond from Porter, and they are unable to cut down Case, who was scoring from second base on the play. A lot of action going on in that play. We'll see how they score it. Kind of a tough play to score in my mind. It looked like it could have been a hit all the way. We'll see how they score it. Let me get the official scoring here. Well, as we await the official scoring, Raymond made a nice play over at third base. Went down to 2 knees, picked that one up. But a fast runner, Alvarez, was bearing down the first base line. The throw from Raymond was high, pulled Porter off the base. Case then was rounding third base. Porter threw across the diamond again, back to Raymond. Case got caught up in the middle of a rundown, but Raymond was unable to secure the ball and throw it home. And Case comes all the way around to second base to score on an infield single. They do rule it a single. I agree with that call as well, as it would have been a tough throw out Alvarez anyway. As Dodds flies this one into deep right field, but Gabe Taylor is there to bring it in for the Trailblazers for the third out of the inning. The Sunbirds do get 1 run back, but the Trailblazers still lead at 6-2. We'll be back in 60 seconds on the Trailblazer Baseball Network. Welcome back to the Trailblazers Baseball Network inside Bruce Hurst Field on the beautiful campus of Dixie State University. As we see the Trailblazers leading 6-2 over the Fresno Pacific Sunbirds, as the leadoff batter takes strike one, does Jake Engel. Leading off for the Trailblazers is Engel, and takes a strike for the first pitch of the inning. So the Sunbirds do get 1 run back in the fifth inning on a kind of a crazy play that saw Joe Raymond fire across the diamond to Porter, who then fired it back to third base. Joe Raymond, who was unable to throw out Case at home in a rundown. But Engel steps to the plate in the bottom of the 5th inning and is ahead in the count 2-1 as Lisola delivers a strike to even the count 2-2. Engel steps back into the box and awaits the 2-2 from Lisola. Check swing fouled down the right field line. No action yet in either bullpen. So won't have any sort of a pitching change for at least a few minutes, depending on what happens this inning with Lisola, who throws a curveball over the plate for a called third strike. And Engel is cut down, looking to lead off the fifth inning with a strikeout. Bringing to the plate, second baseman Tyler Hollow. Hollow coming to the plate for the third time, takes a ball. Hollow grounded out to shortstop in the second inning and reached on a fielder's choice in the third inning. Takes a call at the first strike over the inside corner of the plate, says Anthony Prater. One on Hollow, who squares around to bunt and stabs at that one, but comes up empty. Strike two. All right, I got my numbers crossed there. So now Hollow is behind in the count, 1-2 strikes. And here is Lisola's delivery, fouled back off the backstop, off the bat of Hollow. Both these two teams, again, like we mentioned, back in action tomorrow afternoon. First pitch of a scheduled doubleheader will be at approximately 4 p.m. local time, 3 p.m. Pacific, as Hollow takes ball two off the outside corner of the plate. Infield playing Hollow slightly to pull. Alvarez playing a shade up the middle. Case playing normal second base depth. The 2-2 to Hollow on the way, just off the inside corner. Frankfurt, the Sunbirds catcher, wanted that call, tried to frame it, but to no avail. And the count goes full to Hollow, who swings, grounds one into deep short off the glove of Alvarez, who, as we mentioned, was playing up the middle, had to go to his right, back almost normally to where he would be playing, normal depth. Not able to come up with that one. They score an error on Alvarez. Probably the right call, play he probably should have made, as it did go off the end of his glove, just out of his reach. But they do score it, an error on Alvarez. And Hollow is aboard with one out in the inning. So an E6 gives Hollow new life at first base. And Davison grounds one into deep short, and that one gets through, no question. That's a single off the bat of Davison on that first pitch he sees. Scampering to second is Hollow. And Davison is aboard safely with a one-out hit. No doubt about that one. No way anyone was going to get to that one. Kind of a slow roller in between everybody over there on the left side of the infield. And Davis with his second single of the evening. He is 2 for 3, 2 singles, and also a flyout to center field. Bringing to the plate, Alec Flemitakis, who grounds this one right back to the pitcher. Could be two. Back to the second baseman. Back to the shortstop, Alvarez, who was able to record one out at second base. But a good slide by Davison breaks up a would-be double play off the bat of Alec Flemitakis. Advancing to third on the play is Hollow. But now 2 outs in the inning brings Wyatt Branch to the plate. But first, we will have a mound visit from the Sunbirds coaching staff. Actually, rather than a mound visit, it looks like he's heading out to speak with the third base umpire, Glenn Belongo, to discuss that controversial slide there by Davison at second base, arguing that Davison came in contact with Alvarez, the shortstop, and is likely bargaining that should be called interference on the runner. But it looks like to no avail is the argument, and we play on. So Davison is cut down 1-6 on the play at second base. For the second out of the inning, Flemitakis reaches on a fielder's choice. So 2 outs now in the inning. Wyatt Branch steps to the plate, yet to see a pitch in this at-bat from Esteban Lisola. And now another timeout. Called by Braden Frankfurt, the Sunbirds catcher. Frankfurt taking some timeout to call some defensive signals, how they're going to play this first and third situation. The runner is not moving from first, and the first pitch is taken for a ball up and out of the zone. 1-0 now to Wyatt Branch. Trailblazers threatening here in the fifth. Runners on first and third. Hollow, your runner on third base, Alec Flemitakis. The runner from first. Lisola now fakes to third, fakes to first. The old double fake from the sophomore starting pitcher for the Sunbirds. Here comes the 1-0 to Wyatt Branch, just off the plate outside for ball 2. Again, if you're just joining us, glad to have you in. Drayson Ball with you, coming from Brucehurst Field. Trailblazers leading it 6-2 in the bottom of the fifth inning, as Branch takes this hard cut, heavy cut, fouls it right there at the plate, but fouled. Maybe took one off his leg or his ankle perhaps, and the count now goes to 2-1. Two outs in the inning. Angle recording the first out on a strikeout looking. And then Davison was cut down at second base on a 1-6 fielder's choice off the bat of Alec Flemitakis. And now the count comes to 2-2 for Wyatt Branch. The Trailblazers' designated hitter. And Alec Flemitakis was stealing on the play. An early steal does not fool the Sunbirds' defense. Lisola steps off the mound, throws it to second base, and Alec Flemitakis is cut down 1-6 on the putout. The Trailblazers still lead it 6-2 after 5 innings complete. We'll be back in 60 seconds on the Trailblazers Baseball Network. Welcome back to the Trailblazers Baseball Network on the campus of Dixie State University at Bruce Hurst Field. We're heading to the top of the 6th inning, and leading off for the Sunbirds is number 27, the first baseman, Hunter Villanueva, who takes the first pitch for a called strike on the inside corner of the plate. Matt Mosca continues as your starting pitcher, has now pitched 5 complete innings of 2-run baseball. Just 3 hits in total for the Sunbirds, one of them coming off the bat of Villanueva, who's at the plate. Villanueva got the scoring started for the Sunbirds in the top of the 2nd inning with a leadoff booming home run to left center field, which gave the Sunbirds a temporary 1-0 lead, which was then followed by 6 unanswered runs from the Trailblazers before the Sunbirds answered with one of their own in the top of the 5th inning. And we find our score at 6-2, as you can see there on your little score bug at the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. Mosca now way behind Villanueva, 3-1, and Villanueva skies one foul and out of play over the backstop and out of Bruce Hurst Field. The night is upon us, just past 8 o'clock local time in St. George. Still a pleasant evening, 77 degrees currently on the field, as Mosca's full count delivery is inside and off the plate, and Villanueva reaches with a leadoff walk. So Villanueva reaches for the 2nd time in 3 at-bats, following, a ground out to third base, sandwiched in between that walk and his leadoff homer, as I mentioned a few moments ago. Mosca now delivers to Braden Frankfurt, the catcher, for the Sunbirds for a called first strike. Frankfurt grounds it right into the shift to the shortstop, Alec Flematakis, who is on the right side of the infield, picks up the grounder, steps on second base for the first out, and fires it across to Logan Porter to record the 6-3 double play. Dixie State infield was playing Frankfurt to pull, was shifted over. Flematakis was all the way onto the right side of the infield. Had him played perfectly. The ground ball cuts down 2 on the 6-3 double play off the bat of Braden Frankfurt, and quickly 2 outs in the inning. Those double plays, as they say, are rally killers, and a well-needed double play for Mosca following the leadoff walk to Villanueva. Hayden Haynes now at the plate for the Sunbirds, who fires a 1-1 pitch deep to right center field, but Gabe Taylor has a beat on it, and he brings it in for the 3rd out of the inning. 3 up, 3 down for the Sunbirds in the top of the 6th. We head to the bottom of the 6th. Back in 60 seconds on the Trailblazer Baseball Network. Welcome back to the Trailblazers Baseball Network inside Bruce Hurst Field on the beautiful campus of Dixie State University. Leading off for the Trailblazers is the designated hitter, Wyatt Branch. We do have a pitching change for the Sunbirds. We will report after Branch's plate appearance. The new pitcher, we will give you his name right now, number 23, Jonathan Molina, comes in relief in the bottom of the 6th inning for Esteban Lisola. Wyatt Branch leading off the 6th inning with an even count, 1-1. As Molina delivers the 1-1 pitch. Off the outside corner for a ball. Branch in his 3rd plate appearance. 0 for 2 so far is Branch, as he awaits the 2-1 from Jonathan Molina. Molina working from the stretch as Branch fouls off the 2-1 pitch. Out of play off the backstop. Trailblazers leading it 6-1 in the bottom of the 6th inning after scoring 2 runs in the 2 runs in the 2nd, 2 runs in the 3rd, and 2 runs in the 4th inning, as Branch takes a 3rd ball off the outer half of the plate, according to Anthony Prater, home plate umpire. Branch struck out his first plate appearance and grounded out to second base in the 4th inning, and will strike out again on a 3-2 pitch from Jonathan Molina, his 2nd strikeout of the game, which will bring up Jagan Levitt. But first, a little bit about Molina. Molina appearing in his 11th game so far this season, coming in with a 2-2 record, 8.44 ERA for Molina. 10 and 2/3 innings pitched, 11 hits, 12 runs allowed, 11 walks, and 5 strikeouts for Molina. Molina is a 6'3" senior from Fresno, California. As we mentioned, making his 11th appearance in relief out of the Sunbirds bullpen. He faces Jagan Levitt with 1 out in the bottom of the 6th inning and brings the count to 1-1 for the freshman center fielder, Jagan Levitt, who squares the bunt and fouls one off the catcher, Braden Frankfurt, and out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes for Levitt. Again, first game of a 4-game series between the Trailblazers and the Sunbirds. Game 2 and Game 3 will take place in a back-to-back doubleheader tomorrow afternoon. First pitch scheduled for 4 p.m. right here. We'll have it for you on the Trailblazers Baseball Network, as Levitt takes a ball outside, 2-2 the count now, before the final game of the series takes place on Saturday at noon. And again, we'll have it for you right here on Trailblazer Baseball Network. The Sunbirds infield playing Levitt a bit to pull. Tristan Alvarez playing right up the middle, just a step or two to the left side of the second base bag. Ross Dodds, the third baseman, playing well off the line, 30 feet or so off the third baseline, playing in kind of a deep, short position. But the 3-2 pitch goes awry, and Jagan Levitt reaches on a walk off the hand of Jonathan Molina. Jagan's second walk of the evening. He struck out looking in the first inning, doubled in the third, walked in the fourth, came around to score both in the third and the fourth inning, and is put on with a one-out walk to here in the sixth inning. So he leads from first, bringing up Joe Raymond, third baseman for the Trailblazers, who takes ball one low from Jonathan Molina. Raymond had 2 for 3 so far this evening. A strikeout in the first inning, a 2-run homer in the third inning, and a RBI single in the fourth inning. As Levitt steals second base on the second delivery from Jonathan Molina to Joe Raymond. And Jagan Levitt has now stolen 2 bases. Similarly, in the fourth inning, Levitt also reached on a walk and stole second before being driven home by Raymond, who swings at the 1-1 offering and fouls it behind home plate. So, for those of you scoring at home, give Levitt a second RBI, or excuse me, a second stolen base. His 7th stolen base on the season. He has 7 successful attempts in 9 tries, only been gunned down twice, as the 1-2 delivery is inside for a ball on Joe Raymond. Looked like it might have caught his left shoulder, or maybe his left sleeve. From my vantage point, at least, looked like it might have hit him, but nothing doing on the hit by pitch. So Raymond will step back in, and away to 2-2 from Molina. Molina's curveball did not find the plate, and it goes to 3-2. Well, again, 1 out in the inning. Wyatt Branch led off the inning with a strikeout, followed by a 1-out walk to Jagan Levitt. As Joe Raymond now swings at the 3-2 offering from Molina, comes up empty for the second out of the inning. A strikeout from Joe Raymond, his second of the evening, and Molina's second in this inning. No advance from Levitt at second base, which will bring Gabe Taylor to the plate. A good pitch there from Molina to get Raymond to chase. A ball down and out of the zone. Maybe a curveball, breaking pitch that started, looked like it had the outer half of the plate to begin with, but broke out away far enough for Raymond to reach. So he's cut down on strikes, and Taylor takes one high and inside for ball 1. The lights have now been turned on. Well, they've been on for a while, but now gleaming down on to Brucehurst Field as Taylor swings and misses at the 1-0 offering from Molina. Sunbirds infield, shading Taylor to pull. Alvarez playing deep short. Taylor's got all sorts of room up the middle if he chooses to go there. Now a throw behind Levitt at second base from the catcher Frankfurt, but Levitt able to get back in time. The pitch was called a ball on Taylor, who has grounded out to third base, singled to center field, and singled to left field. and will foul the 2-1 offering down the left field line. And the count now goes to 2-2. Gabe Taylor, the second highest batting average in the Trailblazers lineup coming into today, followed only to Tyler Hollow, who came in with a batting average just 4 points higher than that of Gabe Taylor. As we mentioned, .355 average for Taylor coming into today's contest. That has gone up thanks to a 2-for-3 night off the bat of the right fielder. Taylor fouls one off sharply down the right field line over near the Trailblazer dugout. There is action in the Trailblazers bullpen. Can't get a number on that quite yet. As soon as I do get one, I will let you know who is warming up in the Trailblazer bullpen. The 2-2 offering to Gabe Taylor is swung on, driven into deep left field, into left center field, Hayden Haynes corrals it, and Gabe Taylor drives in Jagan Levitt from second base, and Gabe Taylor records his third single of the evening. Levitt scampers home from second base, and the Trailblazers now lead it 7-2. So Gabe Taylor, a tough man to get out as of late. 3 singles for Taylor against the Sunbirds this evening. That brings up first baseman Logan Porter, who takes a ball low on the first offering from Molina. Porter hit by a pitch and scored in the second. Singled in the third and popped out to the right fielder in the fourth inning. Now steps to the plate for his 4th plate appearance of the evening. The 2-0 to Porter, taken for a ball low, and Porter is way ahead. 3 balls and no strikes. Logan Porter, as I believe I mentioned earlier, comes in with a .321 batting average. Looking to do some more damage here with 2 outs in the inning. 3 balls, no strikes on Porter. 7-2 for the Trailblazers, leading this one in the bottom of the 6th inning over the Sunbirds. The 3-0 pitch is over for the first strike of the at-bat. Gabe Taylor leading at first base following an RBI 2-out single. As he slides back into first safely off the pickoff attempt from Molina. Molina's 3-1 delivery as he comes set and fires home, fouled off by Porter, and back to the backstop. And the count will go full. So full count to Logan Porter. Gabe Taylor will get a head start from first base. 2 outs and 3-2 the count. A double here or anything maybe hit into a gap would have the possibility of scoring a stealing Taylor on this pitch. There he goes. Grounded down the third base line. A diving Dodds can't come up with the play. Ball goes into left field. Porter advances to second base on the play. A double for Porter moves Taylor all the way to third base on a 2-out double from Logan Porter. A hard hit ball down the third base line, just out of the reach of third baseman Ross Dodds. Finds Porter safe at second and Taylor safe at third base. The Trailblazers still threatening, not quite out of the sixth inning. And we will have another pitching mound visit for the Sunbirds. I did get a number on that Trailblazer warming up in the bullpen. It is number 46, Jimmy Borzoni, currently warming in the Trailblazer bullpen. Again, Matt Mosca, the starter for the Trailblazers today, has pitched 6 complete innings. 2 runs is all. 3 hits for the senior from Las Vegas, Nevada. The meeting on the mound has adjourned. And Jake Engel will step to the plate for the Trailblazers. 2 outs in the inning. Logan Porter on second following a 2-out double. Taylor stands at third following a single. In the first offering for Molina, low and inside for ball 1. Engel reached on a double and scored in the second inning. Laid down a sacrifice bunt in the third inning, advancing Logan Porter and Gabe Taylor to second and third respectively, and struck out looking for the first out in the top of the fifth inning. The bottom of the fifth inning, excuse me. He bats now in the bottom of the sixth inning with runners in scoring position. 7-2 for the Trailblazers in the bottom of the sixth. 2 runs in the second, 2 runs in the third, 2 runs in the fourth, and 1 run in the sixth inning. The 2-1 from Molina is a called strike over the inside corner of the plate. A curveball looked like from Molina that just caught the inside corner, and the count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Jake Engel, a .307 hitter, coming into today's game. 16 runs scored and 23 hits. Swing and a miss from Jake Engel, and that is the inning. 1 run for the Trailblazers. They lead at 7-2. We'll be back in 60 seconds on the Trailblazer Baseball Network. Welcome back inside Brucehurst Field on the Trailblazers Baseball Network. Drayson Ball joining you. We are leading off the top of the 7th inning with Robbie Stevis, the designated hitter for the Sunbirds, as he takes ball 1 off the outside corner of the plate. A few defensive changes for you. We'll get those to you in just 1 minute as we await the 1-0 offering from new Trailblazers pitcher number 46, Jimmy Borzoni. For Borzoni on the season, making his 8th appearance for the Trailblazers as he fires a 1-1 pitch on the outside corner for a strike 2. Borzoni's 8th appearance for the Trailblazers, coming in with a 1-0 record, 4.91 ERA through 14 2/3 innings pitched, 20 hits, 8 earned runs, 6 walks, and 11 strikeouts for Borzoni, who is a freshman from Vancouver, Washington. He finds himself in a 2-2 count against Robbie Stevis, the designated hitter for the Sunbirds. We'll give you those defensive changes following the at-bat, as Stevis drives one down to the left field gap into the corner, near the corner, up against the wall, and Stevis is on second base with a leadoff stand-up double to lead off the top of the 7th inning for the Sunbirds. As we mentioned, Jimmy Borzoni, the new pitcher for the Trailblazers, moving from third base to play left field is Joe Raymond. Coming in to play third base and batting 5th is Bryce Feist. Again, he will be batting in the 5th hole for Jake Engel. And Joe Raymond will be taking care of the duties out in left field. So Stevis leads off with a stand-up double against Borzoni, who will now face Nate Case, second baseman. Case has grounded out to third base and doubled in the top of the 5th inning. He later would come around to score the 2nd run of the game for the Sunbirds. So 3rd plate appearance for Case, first against Borzoni. And Case skies one out of play down the left field line, bringing the count to 1-1. Stevis leads from second, held close by Tyler Hollow. Ball in the dirt is stopped by Davis. No advance from Stevis. Good block there by Davis to keep the runner at bay. So 2-1. 2-1 for Nate Case against Jimmy Borzoni. The delivery is skied high in foul territory. New inserted third baseman Bryce Feist drifts back and left into the foul territory and records the first out of the inning on a foul ball off the bat of Nate Case. So a foul out to third baseman for Case is the first out of the inning for the Sunbirds. Bringing to the plate Brian Honley, the 9-hole hitter and center fielder for Fresno Pacific. Borzoni sets and fires a beautiful pitch, a strike there on Honley. Looked like he caught him off speed, had Honley out in front for the first strike against Honley. Honley was reached on a walk, in his first plate appearance in the top of the third inning. Was later thrown out Stilling, second base. Also reached on a walk in the fifth inning and advanced to second. And now bats for the third time in the top of the seventh. The 1-1 pitch is just a little high from Borzoni, and the count goes to 2-1. The Trailblazers seeking their 16th win of the season and their 12th Pacific West Conference win. These two teams pretty close to each other in the standings. The Trailblazers just trailing Fresno Pacific by a few games. We'll call it 4 games in the loss column. Fresno Pacific, as we mentioned, 11-9 coming into the game. 11-13 for the Trailblazers as Borzoni gets Honley to chase. For the second out of the inning, a strikeout. Down goes Honley, bringing up right fielder Adam Aleman. A swinging strikeout. Borzoni's first takes down Honley. Going back to the Pac West standings, Trailblazers 4 games back in the loss column would make up a game in the loss column and a game in the win column with a win tonight. First pitch from Borzoni to Aleman is taken for a ball. Aleman has grounded to second base, walked and advanced to second, and struck out in the 5th inning. He's 0 for 2 is Aleman, and he scorches this one into left field. Going over to cut it off is Raymond. He picks it up, but not before Aleman is able to slide in safely at second base. Scoring on the play is Robbie Stevis, and the Trailblazers now lead it 7-3 as the Sunbirds continue to fight and cut into the lead. Yeah, ball just a scorcher kind of down near the left field line. Raymond was able to cut it off before it got to the wall, but not before Aleman was able to scamper into second base with an RBI double. So Tristan Alvarez is now the batter against Borzoni. The 1-0 offering called a ball. Looks like a little bit low, might have been. And Jake Davison heads out to the mound with a quick chat with Borzoni. Quick meeting from Davison and Borzoni is over. Davison retakes his stance behind home plate and accepts the 2-0 delivery from Borzoni for a ball. Borzoni now way behind, 3 balls and no strikes to Tristan Alvarez. The 3-0 is low, and Alvarez takes first base on a 4-pitch walk from Borzoni. Inning still alive for the Sunbirds. 2 outs in the inning. But now runners at first and second base for Ross Dodds, the Sunbirds' third baseman. Dodds, a couple of ground outs and a single. Grounded out to short in the first inning, grounded out to third in the third inning, and an infield single in the fifth inning. Excuse me, I'm reading the wrong line here. Dodds flew out to left field in the first inning, popped up to the catcher in foul territory in the third inning, and flew out to right field in the fifth inning. So 0 for 3 for Dodds, 3 pop-outs for the junior third baseman. A quick meeting on the mound, which is now over, and the delivery from Borzoni to Dodds is on the way. Called strike over the middle of the plate. And Borzoni now ahead in the count, 0-1. Double barrel action down in the Trailblazers bullpen. A couple of pitchers warming up down there. We'll get you those numbers as soon as we can. As the 0-1 pitch comes in to Dodds, a little bit low for ball 1. Down in the bullpen is number 10, Brad Dan Zeisen, and number 32, Tanner Howell, for the Trailblazers. 1 right-hander, 1 left-hander. Dan Zeisen, the left-hander, and Howell, Howell, the right-hander. We got a Tyler Hollow and a Tanner Howell. A little bit of a tongue twister there. Tyler Hollow, as we know, playing second base for the Trailblazers. Tanner Howell is warming up in the Trailblazers bullpen alongside left-hander Brad Dan Zeisen. So 2-2. Now the count for Ross Dodds. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs in the inning. Infielders playing Dodds straight up. 2-2 pitch is swung on, hit into shallow right center field. Gabe Taylor is there to record the 3rd out of the inning. Just 1 run for the Sunbirds in the 7th. It's time to stretch in Brucehurst Field. Back in 60 seconds on the Trailblazer Baseball Network. Welcome back inside Brucehurst Field on the campus of Dixie State University and the Trailblazers Baseball Network. Leading off the bottom of the 7th inning for the Trailblazers, second baseman Tyler Hollow. who faces Jonathan Molina, who's in his second inning of relief for the Sunbirds. Pitch is thrown for a ball. 1-0 the count now to Hollow, who skies one out foul and out of play down the left field line. So 7-3 for the Trailblazers, leading nearly the whole game with the exception of a brief 1-0 lead from the Sunbirds off the bat of a Hunter Villanueva solo home run in the second inning. 3 runs on 5 hits and 2 errors for the Sunbirds. 7 runs on 11 hits and 1 error for the Trailblazers, heading into the bottom of the 7th inning. 3-1 now for the freshman second baseman, Hollow, who has grounded out to shortstop, reached on a fielder's choice, and reached on an error by the shortstop in the 5th inning. Will now reach here on a walk issued by Jonathan Molina. So a leadoff walk to start the 7th frame for the Trailblazers brings Jake Davison to the plate. But before that, we will have a mound visit, and it looks like we will have a pitching change. We'll wait to get the official signal. We will have a pitching change. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Get you the info on the new pitcher. Back here in 30 seconds on the Trailblazer Baseball Network. Welcome back to the Trailblazers Baseball Network, bringing you live action of this Pac West matchup between the Dixie State Trailblazers and the Fresno Pacific Sunbirds. Dixie State leading it 7-3 in the bottom of the 7th inning. We have a pitching change to report for the Sunbirds. The new pitcher is number 29, Kobe Antone. Antone is a left-handed pitcher, a 5'11" sophomore from Huntington Beach, California, making his 10th appearance in relief for the Sunbirds, a 1-0 record, an 8.18 ERA in 11 innings pitched, 16 hits, 14 runs, 10 of those earned, 9 walks and 7 strikeouts for the left-handed sophomore. So Antone, the only defensive change for the Sunbirds in the bottom of the 7th. He will face Jake Davison, the catcher for the Trailblazers. A walk from Tyler Hollow led off the inning. He stands at first base. Davison at the plate. Nobody out in the inning so far. Davison squared to bunt on that play. Third baseman Ross Dodds was crashing, but ultimately ended in a strike on Jake Davison. Now the 0-2. Inside corner called for a ball, however. Davison looked like he tried to lean into that one, take that one off that elbow guard there on his left elbow. Davison a single in the second inning, his only hit of the game. Also flew out to center field and was and it hit into a force out, 1-6 force out in the fifth inning. He now receives a 1-2 pitch from Molina, who got him chasing down and out of the zone. 3 strikes now for Davison as he swings and misses for the first out of the inning. Excuse me, not Molina. The new pitcher, Kobe Antone. A great pitch from Antone there. A left-handed pitcher, kind of coming with a little bit of a sidearm delivery. Coming back into Davison, a right-handed hitter. Kind of almost like a backdoor slider, backdoor curveball type of pitch. Got Davison to swing over the top of it for the first out of the inning. Alec Flemitakis now steps into the plate and swings at the first pitch, but comes up empty. And Flemitakis is quickly behind 0-1. Flemitakis has grounded out to third base and lines this one over the third baseman's head into left center, into the left field corner. He's on his way to second. Hollow is rounding third base. He's coming home. The plate is no good, not in time, and Flemitakis will advance to third base on the throw. A great piece of hitting from Alec Flemitakis, getting the ball over and out of the reach of the third baseman, Ross Dodds. Kept it just fair and hit it into the left field corner, allowing Hollow to score all the way from first base. A one-out RBI double from Alec Flemitakis, who then advanced to third base on the throw home. Hayden Haynes did a good job of picking that one out of the left field corner, hitting his relay man, and the plate was just not in time. A throw not in time, kind of maybe looked like it hit off Hollow, the runner, and Hollow able to score safely for the Trailblazers' 8th run of the game. So that'll bring up a pinch hitter for the Trailblazers. The pinch hitter is Kyle Hoffman, who lays down a sacrifice squeeze, kind of a safety squeeze there to score Flemitakis from third base. Good at bat by Kyle Hoffman on the first pitch he sees from Kobe Antone. So Hoffman comes in to pinch hit for Wyatt Branch, lays down a beautiful suicide or safety squeeze, whatever you want to call it. Pitcher Antone picked it up. The only play he had was at first base, and he throws out Hoffman on the 1-3 putout. So Levitt, as I'm trying to catch up on my book here, had a couple of plays there in quick succession, trying to catch up here on my book. Levitt now steps to the plate. Good game for Levitt. Struck out in the first inning, but doubled in the third inning, and has walked in both the fourth and the sixth inning, and has scored on all 3 occasions he's reached base, and now takes one, looked like off the back, maybe the back of the helmet, and is hit by a pitch, and is now standing on first base with a 2-out hit by pitch. So bases were empty, but only briefly, as Levitt now stands at first base following the hit batsman. 2 runs in for the Trailblazers. Kind of just to recap the inning as we have a mound visit. Hollow reached on a walk to begin the inning. Jake Davison struck out swinging for the first out of the inning. Flemitakis drove the double down the left field line into the corner, which scored hollow. No play at the plate. Flemitangas advanced to third base on that throw and was then scored by Kyle Hoffman, who laid down a beautiful safety squeeze. Hoffman was thrown out at first base for the second out of the inning, and Jagan Levitt was hit by a pitch and now stands at first. We will have a pitching change, it looks like, for the Sunbirds. We'll be back in 30 seconds to give you the new information on the pitcher back here on the Trailblazers Baseball Network. Welcome back to the Dixie State Trailblazer Baseball Network, as we are in between pitching changes for the Sunbirds. The new pitcher for Fresno Pacific is number 31, Carson Schellenberg, a right-handed pitcher, a 6-foot sophomore out of Reedley, California. For Schellenberg, a 14.18 ERA in his 9th appearance in relief this season. One save has Schellenberg recorded in 13 and a third innings pitched, 30 hits, and 28 runs scored on those 30 hits. 8 walks, 10 strikeouts for Schellenberg, the sophomore, again, as I mentioned, out of Reedley, California. So he will come on to try to end the 7th inning for the Trailblazers. A good one, though, for Dixie State. 2 runs across off the bat of a RBI double from Flebitakis and an RBI safety squeeze from Kyle Hoffman. So Schellenberg now faces Joe Raymond, the new left fielder for the Trailblazers, taking over the left field duties in the top half of the inning. A ball in the dirt from Schellenberg allows Levitt to scamper into second. The play at the base was not in time to nail Levitt. A good piece of running from Jagan as a ball in the dirt, corralled pretty well by Braden Frankfurt, the Sunbirds catcher, but did get just far enough away for Levitt with his good speed to cruise into second base. So he now stands in scoring position for Raymond. What else is new? How many times have we said that today? Levitt reached on a walk in the 4th and in the 6th and stole second base on both occasions. He now steals second base a 3rd time on the wild pitch from Schellenberg. So Raymond way ahead in the count. 3 balls and 1 strike. 2 outs now in the inning, but 2 runs in for the Trailblazers. And Raymond takes a ball for outside, and he will advance to first on a 2-out walk issued from Carson Schellenberg. So Taylor becomes the 7th man to bat in the inning. Only the 2nd time in today's game that the Trailblazers have sent 7 batters to the plate The other occasion was in the third inning when they sent 7 batters as well. So Taylor steps in and takes the first pitch for a ball up and in. Taylor has had a good game. Grounded out to the third baseman in his first at-bat in the first inning. But since then, 3 singles. And he hits this one up the middle as well, and that's going to get in for another single. Here comes Levitt around third base. He will score without a throw. And Raymond holds at second base. So 4 consecutive singles for Gabe Taylor. The Sunbirds have not found a way to get him out today very often. So the single up the middle scores Levitt. Raymond now at second, and Taylor stands at first base on the single right back up the middle off the bat of Taylor. And Dixie State has pushed 3 runs across, and Logan Porter takes a first pitch ball out of the zone. Trailblazers still threatening in the bottom of the 7th. Taylor stands at first, Raymond at second, and now both runners will move up 90 feet on the passed ball from Frankfurt, the catcher. So Porter now in prime position to drive in 2 more runs for the Trailblazers, leading 2-0 in the count. The pitch inside nearly hit Porter again. Again, another same story. Was hit by a pitch in the second inning. That was his 13th hit by pitch so far this season. That one nearly careened off the left leg of the senior first baseman. And the next pitch is out of the zone for a 4-pitch walk of Logan Porter. And now the bases are full of Trailblazers for Bryce Feist, which brings another pitching change from the Sunbirds dugout. No indication as of yet on a pitching change, but head coach Oscar Hirschkorn is grabbing the ball from Schellenberg. He will be done. We do have a pitching change. We'll be back to give you the details on the new pitcher in 30 seconds on the Trailblazer Baseball Radio Network. Welcome back to the Trailblazers Baseball Network, bringing you Pacific West between the Dixie State Trailblazers and the Fresno Pacific Sunbirds. A 10-3 ball game in favor of the Trailblazers over the Sunbirds. We are in the bottom of the 7th inning, and we have a pitching change. The new pitcher for the Sunbirds is number 26, Phillip Denis. He is a right-handed pitcher, a 6'3 freshman from Visalia, California. He comes in making his sixth appearance in relief for the Sunbirds, a 9.95 ERA in 6 1/3 innings pitched, 8 hits, 7 runs, 5 walks, and 3 strikeouts for the 6'3" freshman from Visalia. And he comes into the game in a jam. Loaded bases for the Trailblazers. Logan Porter stands on first, Gabe Taylor stands on second, and Joe Raymond stands on third base. Already 3 runs in for the Trailblazers. In the inning, Tyler Hollow scored on a double by Alex Lematakis. Alex Lematakis scored on a suicide squeeze or a safety squeeze from Kyle Hoffman. Jagan Levitt scored on a single from Gabe Taylor. And now the ninth batter of the inning is Bryce Feist, who skies one up in the air to second base. Nate Case brings it in, and the inning is finally over for the Trailblazers, but they do score 3 runs in the inning. It's 10-3. We head to the 8th inning. We'll be back in 60 seconds on the Trailblazer Baseball Network. Welcome back to the Trailblazer Baseball Network. We're back in Bruce Hurst Field on the beautiful campus of Dixie State University. We're in the top of the 8th inning, and the Trailblazers are leading this one 10-3 over the Sunbirds of Fresno Pacific University. Jimmy Borzoni is staying in the game on the mound for the Trailblazers and delivers a first pitch strike on a foul ball to Hunter Villanueva, who skies this one out to center field, shallow center field. Jagan Levitt is there to record the first out of the 8th inning. We have a defensive change for the Trailblazers. Brody Clifford now into the game to play left field. He will be batting in the 2-hole for Joe Raymond. First pitch to Frankfurt is lined out to shallow right field into the shift, and Tyler Harlow brings it in for the second out of the inning. So quickly, 2 outs already in the top of the 8th inning on just 3 pitches from Jimmy Borzoni, bringing to the plate Hayden Haynes. Haynes slaps this one foul down the left field line. If you're just joining us, you've missed quite a game. 10 runs on 13 hits and 1 error for the Trailblazers, 3 runs on 5 hits and 3 errors for the Sunbirds. Jimmy Borzoni is on the hill in relief in his second inning of relief. for the Trailblazers. And he is facing Hayden Haynes, and now is ahead in the count 0-2 in the top of the 8th inning. Inside for the first ball. A great evening of baseball here at Bruce Hurst Field as Borzoni gets Hayden Haynes to strike out on a ball in the dirt. A quick inning for the Trailblazers. 3 up, 3 down, no runs, no hits, no errors, no runners left. We head to the bottom of the 8th. Back in 60 seconds on the Trailblazer Baseball Network. Welcome back to the Dixie State Trailblazer Baseball Network. Heading into the bottom of the 8th inning. Once again, I am Drayson Ball. I've been running things solo today in the absence of Carrick Segmiller, who is normally with me. But doing it solo today as we head to the bottom of the 8th inning, leading off for the Trailblazers is second baseman Tyler Hollow. And he takes ball 1. Hollow has grounded out to shortstop, reached on a fielder's choice, reached on an error by the shortstop, and walked and scored in the 7th inning. As he fouls the 1-0 pitch, fouling out of play behind the Sunbirds dugout. Again, looking ahead for both teams, first game of a 4-game set between the Trailblazers and the Sunbirds. We'll have a back-to-back doubleheader tomorrow. First pitch slated for 4 p.m. as the Trailblazers will take on the Sunbirds as well. And the 4th game of the series will take place on Saturday. First pitch is slated for noon. Then it's on the road for the Trailblazers as Hollow fouls this one over the Sunbirds dugout as well. A hot shot. Hopefully everyone's okay down there in the crowd section down there by the third base dugout. As I mentioned, the Trailblazers going forward after this 4-game home set, wrapping up their longest home stretch of the season, will head onto the road to play Biola University beginning April 19th. That game starts at 3 p.m. A 4-game set for the Trailblazers before heading to Concordia Irvine University for a 4-game set there as well. So Hollow walks, and we will now have a pinch runner on first base. It will be number 44, Cade Urban, will now come in and run for Hollow. So Hollow reaches on a walk after working the count full. And Cade Urban will now step in to run for Hollow, whose night is over. Oh, excuse me. Looks like I got a mix-up of numbers here. Urban is the one batting, not pinch running at first base. So Urban is now batting for Davison. And Urban is now behind in the count 0-2. And he takes a ball low and inside and in the dirt. No advance by the runner at first. So sorry about that mix-up. Hollow is still at first base. No pinch runner. Instead, Kate Urban comes in to pinch hit for Jake Davison. And Hollow now evens the count. Urban now evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Hollow stands at first base, reached on a leadoff walk, and Urban now with knots in the inning receives the 2-2 offering. And he smokes one down the right field, into right field, over the head of Adam Alalan. He's on his way to third. He'll get there. Coming around to score is Hollow. The player at third base is not in time. And a no-out triple for Cade Urban. A pinch hit triple scores Tyler Hollow, and the Trailblazers now lead it 11-3. A great piece of hitting from Urban off the bench as he scorched one into right field over and out of the reach of Adam Alleman, the right fielder for the Sunbirds. And Urban cruised into third base, beating the throw for an RBI triple. Flemitakis now attacks the first pitch of his at-bat, and he rolls one into left field between the shortstop and the third baseman, scoring Urban in the process. So Flemitakis swings on the first pitch and serves it into left field for an RBI single. So Flemitakis now stands at first base. And he, as I mentioned, scores Cade Urban from third base. That now brings up Kyle Hoffman, who, as we remember, pinch hit for Wyatt Branch. He stays in the game now to stay in the designated hitters role. As we remember, he laid down that safety squeeze in the 7th inning to score Flemitakis. Kyle Hoffman will now stay in the game to be the designated hitter. The 2-1 offering is fouled out of play and out of Bruce Hurst Field. Phillip Denis on the mound for the Sunbirds, as Dixie State has blown this one open 12-3 with 2 runs coming in the 8th inning as Hoffman is down on strikes. Swung at a ball a little bit out of the zone, looked like a little bit high from my vantage point, and he will be the first out of the 8th inning. So now Jagan Levitt, he will be the man at the plate. His 6th at-bat. Had a good game so far. A double, 2 walks, a hit by pitch, and 4 runs scored for Jagan Levitt. Just what you want out of your leadoff hitter, to get on base and score. Jagan now up to 22 runs scored this season. As he watches ball 2 off the hand of Phillip Denis. So, the Trailblazers, as I mentioned, leading at 12-3. 2 runs in the second, 2 runs in the third, 2 runs in the fourth, 1 run in the sixth, 3 runs in the seventh, and 2 runs so far here in the 8th inning as Jagan Levitt swings at the 2-0 offering from Denis. Flemitakis leads from first. A swing and a miss from Levitt evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Levitt, in his 6th plate appearance of the evening, steps in for a 2-2 offering. In the air and out of play behind the Sunbirds dugout. Excellent game offensively for the Trailblazers. As I mentioned, 12 runs on 15 hits and just 1 error from the Trailblazers defense. The 2-2 to Levitt is in the air down the left field line, but slicing foul and out of play for Levitt. So he will jot back to the left-hander's batter's box and await another 2-2 offering from Denis. Levitt rests the bat on his shoulder just before the offering, then quickly slides it up in position just next to his left earlobe. The 3-2 from Denis is off the plate, and Levitt is aboard for a 5th time this evening, and his 3rd walk of the game will put Levitt on first base and advance Flemitakis to second base for the Trailblazers. Just 1 out in the inning, and the newly inserted left fielder Brody Clifford will now step to the plate for his first at-bat of the evening. Brody Clifford takes his first pitch high and out of the zone for ball 1. Clifford, a junior outfielder from Queen Creek, Arizona, steps in for his first at-bat of the game. Takes the ball high and inside, nearly hit him, and he's ahead in the count, 2 balls, no strikes. Flemitakis at second base. Levitt leads from first. The 2-0 delivery from Denis is popped up high into short, shallow center field. Brian Honley coming in to make the play, and Clifford is retired for the 2nd out of the inning. So an F8 retires Clifford, and now we will have a pinch hitter, which will be Drake Benner for the Trailblazers. So Taylor's good night is done. Taylor was 4 for 5 on the evening with 4 singles. A couple of RBIs there as well. But Taylor will now give way to Drake Benner. Benner steps in to the right-hander's batter's box and awaits the first pitch from Denis. And Benner scorches this one up the middle, And into center field, coming around to score is Flemitakis. Benner with a pinch hit single up the middle to give the Trailblazers a 10-run lead, 13-3. Good pinch hitting so far for the Trailblazers, as Benner had a pinch hit, and also did Urban a pinch hit single earlier in the inning. So a single for Benner advances Levitt to second. And coming around to score, as I mentioned, is Flemitakis from second base. So 3 runs across for the Trailblazers in the inning. 2 outs now. And 2 runners still aboard for the Trailblazers. Bringing to the plate another pinch hitter will be Braxton Ibsen, number 22, now pinch hitting for Logan Porter. He is quickly ahead in the count, 2 balls, no strikes, as he awaits the delivery from Denis. Taken for a ball outside, 3 balls, no strikes. So, Coach Feitenhauer emptying his bench, as this one is seemingly well in hand for the Trailblazers. (13-3) in favor of Dixie State, as Benner awaits the 3-1, and it's fouled back and out of play. A good offensive game and a good defensive game as well for the Trailblazers. All around good game as well, coming off a good series against Hawaii Hilo, in which they scored 9 runs, 14 runs, and 13 runs in the wins over the Vulcans. The 3-2 pitch to Ibsen is out of the zone, and he will take his base, which will load the bases for the Trailblazers in the 8th inning. Bringing to the plate third baseman Bryce Feist. So once again, the Trailblazers find themselves bases loaded. Phillip Denis in a jam here as well, still not out of the inning. 2 runners are out though, as Feist takes ball 1. As you remember, Feist came in a few innings ago and batted in the 8th inning. Popped out to the second baseman for the 3rd out of the 7th inning. The 1-1 from Denis is low, taken for a ball 2. As the Trailblazers have loaded the bases here in the bottom of the 8th inning, already leading 13-3. The 2-1 to Feist, cut on a hard swing from Feist, but wasn't able to catch up with it. And now the count is even at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss from Feist, and he is down on strikes. But the Trailblazers score 3 in the bottom of the 8th inning. Last call for the Sunbirds. We head to the 9th. Back in 60 seconds on the Trailblazer Baseball Network. Welcome back to the Trailblazer Baseball Network inside Brucehurst Field. We're heading to the top of the 9th inning. Last call for the Sunbirds, trailing Dixie State 13-3. We lead off the top of the 9th inning with a pinch hitter. That pinch hitter will be Angel Flores, number 41 for the Sunbirds, who takes one off his back and will trot slowly down to first base as the leadoff man is aboard for the Sunbirds in the top of the 9th inning. So Flores came into bat for Robbie Stevens, and now finds himself aboard at first base. We will have now another pinch hitter coming into bat for Nate Case. Is number 11, Jarrett Antone, a junior infielder. And he scorches one into the right center field gap. Coming into Crowlett is the newly inserted right fielder, Drake Benner. We do have some defensive changes. As I mentioned, the new right fielder, Drake Benner, comes into Crowlett. That one. Braxton Ibsen stays into the game to play first base for Logan Porter. And Jake Foster comes in to catch for the Trailblazers. Those are your defensive changes for the Dixie State defense. Jimmy Borzoni remains on the mound for the Trailblazers with runners in on first and second base, and a swing and a miss from Brian Honley, the center fielder for the Sunbirds. The 0-1 offering from Borzoni is over for a called strike, and Borzoni is way ahead now, 0-2. The 0-2 Honley is low and blocked by Foster. Good block by Foster to keep the runners at bay. Again, we're in the top of the 9th inning. Trailblazers are leading it 13-3. Trailblazers have 13 runs on 16 hits and 1 error, 3 runs on 6 hits, and 3 errors for the Sunbirds. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ball hit into the air to center field. Levitt fell down on the play, was able to recover, and makes a tremendous play out in center field. Great play by Levitt to record the first out of the inning on Brian Hunley. So that will head back to the top of the order, but we will have another pinch hitter. It will be number 9, Derek Archelayan. Fortunately enough, I have my pronunciation guide on hand. Archelayan, A-R-K-E-L-I-A-N. Derek Archelayan will pinch hit for Adam Alaman. So 1 out in the inning, runners at first and second for the Sunbirds. And the first pitch to Akalayan is low and in the dirt for ball 1. So the Sunbirds threatening in the 9th. 1 out in the inning. Ball inside for ball 2. If the Trailblazers are able to hold on, they will move to 16-9 overall in the season and 12-13 in the Pac West Conference. Tremendous game so far. Just about to wrap up in the top of the ninth as the 2-0 is taken low for a ball. We want to thank all of our help from CEC TV to be able to bring you this game. Our camera crew, our guys up here in the booth have been working hard. Want to give those guys a big thanks for all their help this evening to be able to bring you live TV action on CEC Network and on the Trailblazers YouTube page, Dixie State Athletics. So, our Killian walks to load the bases for the Sunbirds. And Borzoni finds himself in a jam in the top of the ninth inning. Borzoni struggling to find the plate as of late. And now the bases are loaded for the Sunbirds. Again, just as a reminder, final reminder, these two teams will be back in action tomorrow afternoon in St. George. First pitch slated for 4 p.m. Of a doubleheader. First pitch again started at 4 p.m. We'll have it for you here on CEC TV and the Dixie State Athletics YouTube page. We'll invite you back tomorrow for that game, and we hope to see you then, as the count now runs 1-2. And a ball off the inside corner to shortstop Tristan Alvarez. Bases full of Sunbirds, who are threatening in the ninth. A ball misses high from Borzoni. There is some action down in the Trailblazers bullpen if Borzoni is unable to gather the final 2 outs of the ninth. Borzoni's 3-2 delivery is cut on and missed by Alvarez. Borzoni got him with a high fastball. Alvarez chased and is down on strikes. And last chance for the Sunbirds rests in the hands of third baseman Ross Dodds. Once again, thanks to everyone in the CEC crew for making this possible. We're glad you guys will stay late. A tremendous game we've seen from the Trailblazers, pushing across 13 runs on 16 hits. Not to mention a tremendous start from Matt Mosca, as the count now runs 1-1 to Dodds. Matt Mosca pitched 6 complete innings, allowing just 2 runs. One of those a solo homer from Hunter Villanueva, who waits on deck. But a high fastball gets Ross Dodds, and the Sunbirds are down to their last strike. 1-2 the count. Bases full of Sunbirds in the top of the ninth inning. Borzoni with a long look in to Foster. He gets a sign, comes set, and delivers on the inside corner. Strike 3 called by home plate umpire Anthony Prater, and Dodds is retired on strikes. And that'll do it. The Trailblazers will win it 13-3. For the Trailblazers, 13 runs on 16 hits, 1 error, and for the Sunbirds, 3 runs on 6 hits and 3 errors for Fresno Pacific. Matt Mosca picks up his 4th win of the season. He is now 4-3. Esteban Lisola suffers